I'm Gabrielle Shirley here with Scott Reynolds from PewterReport.com. Scott, Jameis Winston, he's getting his first start of the season this Sunday.
That's good news for the Buccaneers because he's 2-0 in Atlanta against the Falcons. So the Buccaneers right now, they've lost 2 games in a row, coming off of a disappointing 48-10 loss in Chicago, then having the bye week. So they need to get a win. They need to get back on track. And if they win, they'll be 3-2. They'll be 2-0 in the NFC South, ahead of the New Orleans Saints, who they've already beaten. And it really would bury the Falcons now. I think they'd be, 1-5. So there's a lot that can go good for the Buccaneers with the win. And the good news is Jameis is back, and if he plays as well as he has up in Atlanta, they could very well win this game.
Now, a lot of people are talking about Julio Jones, but we have offensive weapons on our side of the ball. Talk to me about Evans, Brate specifically.
Well, you know, Mike Evans, for all the talk about how Julio Jones owns the Buccaneers, well, Mike Evans owns the Falcons. He's caught more passes for more yards and more touchdowns against Atlanta than any other team, even in the NFC South.
Impressive.
46 catches, 692 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So if Mike Evans can continue to be the Mike Evans we've seen all year, this could be a very big showdown between him and Julio Jones to see who comes out as the top receiver. Now, Cam Brate, you mentioned him. He's on a roll now. He was invisible the first 2 weeks, but he's caught touchdowns each of the last 2 games, and we know that Jameis Winston has that rapport with Cam Brate. We saw them connect for their first touchdown connection of the year in Chicago, and I look for that to continue. Cam's also had success against Atlanta.
The defense, the Bucs defense, a dismal defensive showing against the Bears. What can we expect on Sunday?
Listen, the defense has caught a lot of flack and well-deserved after that. They've had 2 weeks to stew on this. It's going to be a shootout. This game, you're not going to be able to keep the Falcons under 28 points, I think. This is how the NFC South is now. We saw it in Week 1, 48-40, the Bucs on top of the Saints. The Saints beat the Falcons in Atlanta in a similar type of shootout in overtime. I would expect this game to be in the 30s. I think the Bucs defense will be a little better, but listen, you've got Calvin Ridley, the rookie, who's got 6 touchdowns. You've got Julio Jones. You've got Mohamed Sanu. You got Matt Ryan in a place where he plays very well at home. I would expect another shootout on Sunday, but I think the Buccaneers have enough firepower, and if they can create some turnovers, that was the big thing. Getting takeaways, that's how they beat the Saints in New Orleans. If they can get some takeaways on defense and just slow the Falcons down a little bit, I think they'll come out on top.